Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
Mahag, Saar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that.
Dragon Floor!
Corruption!
Storm!
Ready!
Here I go!
If they rush you, you gotta jump for cover, okay?
Swallow Blade! Slash!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
Swallow Blade!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Dragon Floor!
Like
I'm not
now!
done!
Thunderblade!
Barely a blip on our radar.
What's this thing?
It'll be a breeze. Get in, get out.
You picked the wrong fight!
I never miss!
Eat this!
I'm not done!
Do it!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Dance in the wind!
You're
You got
mine!
company!
Lunar Rondo!
Do it! Easy peasy, huh, Hoodle? Hoo hoo hoo. Hoo. Hoo hoo hoo. Hoo. Maybe something's going on in the forest. Hi, Hoodle.
Take this!
Now you see what I can do!
You're mine!
I'll tear you
Try
apart!
come and face me! Crush! Swallow Blade!
Go away!
Slash! It's over!
Lunar Blast!
Take this!
Swallow dance!
Do it!
Charge like that.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes.
Something you wanted to say?
Natural energy!
This could be useful. There's something in the water. I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes.
Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble.
I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod.
You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done. Everything looks fine with the lure. All right, let's do this. Looks like I lost it. Oh, we've got a lively one. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
Nice! You caught it!
Ha! There we go. Anybody could reel in that.
Guess it's important to stay calm.
Yeah! All right. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
Not too shabby, friend.
Where should I cast my line? I've got something. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
That went pretty well.
Hey, what do you think about that spot?
Good idea. I'll go for that one. I've got something. I'll catch something bigger next time.
Could have been worse. At least you caught something. You're still not done fishing yet? Boring.
You need patience to fish. Yeah! I've got something. Anybody could reel in that.
Guess it's important to stay calm.
Reel it in. Well, it's not bad, per se.
You take your fishing pretty seriously.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins.
Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me.
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey, though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought, after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, La?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
Looks perfect and tastes just as good.
Mind if I join you, Law?
Oh, hey, Alphen. What's up?
Nothing. I was just surprised to see you weren't training for once. Got a stomach ache or something?
You know I don't literally train around the clock, right? I do take breaks.
Do you? It seems like you're training every chance you get.
Well, yeah, it can't be helped if I want to get stronger. Still, it's important to let your muscles rest every now and then. That's what my dad told me anyway.
Zephyr said that?
When I was a little kid, yeah. I would get so excited whenever he came home. I always followed him wherever he went and tried to learn as much from him as I could. He said, it's good to be passionate, but don't overdo it. Just like there are times when you want to take a break from studying, sometimes your body wants to take a break from training, too. I was always rushing around and forgetting to rest, so he ended up telling me that a lot.
That definitely sounds like him.
It's nothing to get sad over. Still, I can't help but wonder if that was my dad's way of teaching me the dangers of rushing into things too quickly. Then again, maybe I'm just overthinking things. I wish I'd had more time to talk to him about this kind of stuff. I'll take guard duty tonight. It's fine. I feel pretty refreshed after that sleep.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman. And this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danon, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danons in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danons in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
Brace yourselves! This one's tough!
In a bind?
You're finished!
Swallow dance! Death begin!
Airborne beasts, my specialty.
Begin!
Got fire!
I've got this. Let a marksman handle it.
All yours!
Whoa, hey,
Elusive deity!
Take this! It's over!
now!
Dragon
Hear
Ball!
you?
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade! See that?
That training's paying off!
Dragon Shell!
Rising Falcon! I'm not done! You're finished!
Ready and rare!
Fly! Sword Blade! This one's all mine!
I'm just getting started! Negative 10! Resonate with the earth!
Not today!
Super Swallow
Here I
Dance!
come! You're finished!
Air thrust!
Fly! Swallow Dance!
Looks like it could be worth something.
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my heart! When he slows down, that's our chance!
Sleep now. It's like trying to keep up with a wolf.
Solid form! Dragon Swarm!
Talon Hurricane!
Lightning orb.
Take this!
Whoa. Hey,
What's
one
this?
at a time.
Thrilling performance. Oh! Now I'm real mad!
Elusive deity! Go! In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Take this! Eagle Assault! I'll crush you! Lightning Reflexes! Tenebrous Claw!
Astral energy.
Say no more!
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Danon history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. There's history in the air here. I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him.
Quite necessary when creating weaponry. Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
Looks like trouble.
No, together, we got this! Thank you! Dragon Swarm!
I'm not so good with airborne targets.
You're finished!
Flying free!
Sia, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
Ready and ready! Now you see what I can do!
Talon Storm! Dragon
I'm ready! All finish you!
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade! See that?
That training's paying off!
Ready to go! I'll face you!
Strike! Swallow Blade! Burn it out!
Fast!
Storm!
Wind astral energy! Now!
Remove!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Now!
Seal!
Here I come! Dragon Swarm!
Now!
Swarm off! Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
Hey! Poodle's quivering! I think we're about to be real lucky! This will be a delicious piece of cake!
Dragon Form!
It's a duel of the arts!
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
Begin! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I shall ensure you survive this.
That's cute!
Shut him down!
I'll smash you!
Lightning orb! Whoa! One at a time! We're in the home stretch, guys! What's this?
Eyes on the prize!
That focus goes double for you, Law!
Me? How come I get singled out?
Raven casting!
Not so fast.
Here I come!
I'm even stronger than before.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah, we used to run.
Gotta break through! You're mine! Not today!
You got company!
Dragon Form!
Can you take it? Take this!
Lightning condemned! These enemies aren't to me!
No complaints here!
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade! See that?
That training's paying off! Dragon Form!
Negative 6!
Swallow Blade!
Eagle Rod!
It's over!
Talent
Swallow
Sword!
Blade! Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
Lunar
I'll
Roller!
smash you!
It's over!
Dragon Form!
Not a chance!
Photon
Rising Falcon!
We can really make weapons with this?
No holding back!
Stay calm.
This'll be a
I shall
piece of
provide
cake.
assistance.
Dragon Form!
Radiant Storm!
Swallow Blade!
Puddle!
Swallow Blade!
Castellana!
Now I can let loose!
Dance in the
The
wind!
enemy lives aren't true.
You'll soon see about that!
Elusive Deity! Dragon Form!
One at a time! Dance in the wind!
Strike! Swallow Blade!
Dragon Shout!
Take this! Swallow Blade! Strike! Elusive Deity! I'm not done! I'm ready! Dragon Form!
Hey!
Blow them away!
How's that?
My turn!
Here comes!
I'm
Acceptable.
not done! Swallow Blade! You're finished!
Take this!
Now!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Block! I still got a ways to go!
Little help!
Take this!
In a bind?
It's over! First strike! This one's all mine! Eat dirt!
Everlasting
Leave
the agile one for me.
Negative gate!
On your knees.
Here goes!
I'm on a roll now! I'm ready! Chisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone! On your now! Here I come! Stardust! First strike! Take this! Liver Dragon! Strike! Swallow Blade! Take this! It's over!
A thrilling
In an instant! Impact Claw! We work well together.
like a finely timed walk.
Ready! Eagle Field! Now!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw!
My exploits are bearing fruit. And thus our strength yet grows.
More Danon ruins here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
Right, here goes! Take this! It's
Not
over!
on my watch!
Dragon Swarm!
Anything in armor!
Swallow Blade!
Does it hurt?
Slash!
Up and
I got
down!
it!
Let's go!
Coming! Rolling snap! Swallow Blade! Do it! Slash! Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw! We work well together.
Like a finely timed walk.
Ignite! I'm not done!
They got me
Dragon Swarm! Swallow Blade! Dragon Swarm! Slash! Take this! You're finished! Now I can let loose. I'm on it! It's over! Swallow Blade! I'm on it! Dragon Swarm! Sword! Slash! Swallow Blade! Elusive Deity! Here I come! Now it is! I'm not done! Surprising!
Wind Astral Energy!
That's what I like to hear. What's this thing?
An opponent like this should be easy. Take this! You're finished! Swallow Dance! Swallow Blade! Go fast! Slash! Armor won't save you!
Resonate with the earth!
On a roll now! Dragon Swarm! Slash! Swallow Blade! Take this! This one's all mine! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! See that? That training's paying off! Rising Falcon! Dragon Swarm! Swallow Blade! Damn it! Swallow Blade! Negative gate! Now! On your Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! My turn! Begin! Rising Falcon! Elusive Swallow Dance! Eternal Devastation! I'm on it! Chisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
Wish they were all that easy.
Yeah, I think we might be getting too strong.
Isn't that good?
Play along, would you?
What's this thing? I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So Mahag Saar's just up ahead then?
Indeed. If you look, across this mountain is the Lord's Keep. We seem to have come across something a little unusual.
No choice. Take this! Not today!
Dragon Shell!
You're mine! Swallow blade! Eternal come one, come all! Take this!
I can carve
Got
through
fire.
all if you
I
do
got
that!
this! Let a marksman handle it!
All yours!
Let's get you for this! This one's mine!
You're
Now!
mine! You're finished!
This'll come in handy! This one's mine! Dance in the wind!
No escape!
Air thrust!
I'll finish you here and now!
Eat
Now!
this!
Elusive deity!
It's over! Swallow blade!
Lightning to death!
I'll
Thunder
face
blade!
you! Swallow dance!
Swallow blade!
Now!
Thrust!
Just soul! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
The heavens must be smiling.
No backing down!
You're attacking from behind!
Dragon
Dance in the
Sword!
wind! In here! Don't mind if I do!
Elusive deity!
Dragon Swarm!
Lightning orb!
It's over!
Fine
I
free!
have no
Why can't they
limit!
just sit still?
Sia, can you take care of them?
Now! No sooner said than done!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Dance in the wind!
You're mine! You're
Take
finished!
this!
See ya!
You're mine! It's over!
Raging
Dragon
campaign!
Swarm!
I'm ready!
Sleep now! Shion! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Not a chance! Move it!
Sleep now!
Rising Falcon!
I'll be
Take
saving
this!
this one!
How's this?
I never miss!
Here I come!
Chinese supernova!
I'm ready!
It's...
In an instant! Impact Cross! Hey, I'm pretty lucky. Ah, guess I misread the... Gotta break through! Burn! Take this!
I'll smash you!
Photon
Right.
Air thrust!
Take this!
Far enough!
Photon blast!
It's over!
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Now! Sounds like a job for you!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Dance in the
Now!
wind!
Luna
Air
Rocket!
thrust! Photon blast! Lightning
Soda!
to death!
It's over! Long! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
See that?
That training's paying off!
Dragon Shell!
Now!
Rising Smoke! Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
No complaints from me.
Is it just me, or is anyone else peckish?
Hoodle!
Swallow dance!
Confiscated!
Swallow Blade! Dragon Swarm!
Lightning orb!
Eat this!
Alright, it's showtime!
Can't get out of this!
It's over!
Eat this!
Chinese supernova! Dance in the wind! Don't believe that! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes! My turn!
Hit!
No escape! Strike!
Our odds of being interrupted.
Swallow Blade!
Dance in the wind!
It's all mine!
In here! They're surrounding us!
Hit!
Hit! Up and at 'em! Let's go!
This one's all mine! Swallow Blade! Strike! Strike! Swallow Blade!
This thing is medically...
Eat this! First strike!
Wind astral energy!
Strike! Dragon Swarm!
medically approved!
Bloody
Here I come!
Don't mind if I do!
Do it! Here I come!
Lightning into astral energy!
Say no more. Got.
Well done.
Swallow blade. Heal.
Is that a healing art?
It is.
Dragon form.
Can't ignore your pain.
Now!
Not try anymore.
Astral energy!
Say no more. Now. Elusive deity. Rising falcon. Dragon.
What's this?
Dragon form.
Now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
There's always room for improvement.
Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right? If that's what you're most comfortable with, I'm certainly not going to give you any grief over it.
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Eldaman and Sia of its enemies, and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially put to use on my return. I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along. But it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term, but you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan, leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.
Something wrong? You look like you're deep in thought.
Not exactly. I was merely thinking about you two and your sense of etiquette.
Oh?
Etiquette?
Indeed. To be quite frank, I find your lack of manners to be nigh intolerable.
That's not being frank, that's being an... Forget it. Do we really need to talk about this now?
Yes. I find such impropriety on your parts to be deeply unsettling. It concerns me greatly.
What do you want us to do? We were slaves. We never got to learn how to be proper like you.
Yeah, what he said. Maybe you missed how we were just focused on surviving.
Perhaps, but Kisara here demonstrates that it's quite possible for a Denon to learn proper manners.
That's because I was given the opportunity to learn. Moreover, my duties as a guardsman required it. Not every realm is like Menancia, as you well know.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to hold us to some other city standards.
Exactly. You've got to remember what it's been like for us living under the Rena elsewhere.
I will concede that you do indeed make a valid point. It would appear, for all my espousing the virtues of equality between our peoples, I was still looking down on the two of you.
You don't need to beat yourself up. I wasn't that offended by what you said, man.
Nevertheless, I shall mind my words from here on out. Having said that, I do believe you two would still benefit from learning the basics of proper society. I would be more than happy to teach you both when we camp out, if you like.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Acting all prim and proper isn't really my style.
If you say so. How about you, Law? Would you like to learn? Although I suppose my first task is to reform your attitude toward the idea of good etiquette.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
Hey, let's stop for a minute.
What's up? You already tired?
My armor's pretty heavy. I think I need a little rest.
I second that. All of this walking is starting to take its toll on me as well.
What? You don't look it.
We can't spare the time. There's places we need to be. Mahag Saar's capital, Niez, is our destination right now.
But if one of us collapses, it will only serve to slow us down. And in your case, Alphen is the only one who could carry you. Best to rest while you have the opportunity.
Enough already. I need a break, so we're taking one.
I don't need you fretting over me.
Fretting? Hey, it's not like I'm...
Been looking for you.
For me, why?
He's tough.
Who are you? You said you were looking for me. Why?
Beautiful, precious life.
What the... That is all I desire. Then why are we fighting? Who even are you? Enjoy. No further! It's over! Heal! And burn! Take this! Who the hell are you? Bastard!
This guy's not normal.
His speed is unbelievable.
You mean he even surpasses a lord?
Another incantation ruin. Take this. Resonate with the earth.
Now
Die. Benediction. Here I come. Heal. Lunar Rondo. Take this.
I never miss.
Enjoy. No escape. Can you take it? Stay away from my friend. From beyond. Not now. Not ever. Take this. I'm not done. Dragon
In here. Let's get you off
You
that
require a hand. In a bind?
Tear you apart.
To everlasting darkness. Negative. Resonate with the earth.
Burn it out.
Being interrupted.
You're mine. You're finished. Heal. First strike.
Anything in armor is all mine!
Wind astral energy on shield.
Is that all that you've got? Very well. Then die. A wretch like you? Till next time. Shion, wake up, please!
Elfin?
Shion!
Thanks, but you're kinda crushing me.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so am I. It's not as bad as it looks.
Not bad. That's... Shion, we thought
I'm
you were...
fine. Really.
What the hell were you thinking?
Well, you were trying to protect me too, you know.
Yeah, but I have the sword. It's different.
It's not different. Besides,
Hmm?
Never mind. It's nothing. Anyway, thank you.
But I didn't... Look, I'm just glad that you're...
Alphen?
Sorry.
That guy said he'd be back. I think maybe we should get moving before he returns, right?
Rinwell has a good point. We need to go. Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I already applied some healing arts to it. It didn't even leave a scar.
But his sword went nearly straight through you.
I'm all right. Unless I've turned into some kind of ghost and I'm haunting you all right now.
No, I know you're not. It's just...
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm fine, really.
There was also that strange light that appeared when Shion was stabbed. It seemed to make the enemy retreat when he saw it. Alphen, do you have any idea what it might have been?
A light? I don't know. I was kind of preoccupied with other things at the time.
Now that I think of it, between that light and the blazing sword, just what sort of person are you, Alphen? Can you use Danon astral arts like Rinwell, perhaps?
He wouldn't know, Dohalim. He doesn't have any memories from his past, remember? Besides, we should really be getting out of here.
I suppose you're right. Forgive me. We've almost reached Nias, the capital of Mahag Saar. With any luck, we'll find a place there for Shion to rest.
Hey.
How are you holding up after that last fight? You're not too hurt, are you?
I'm fine, really. See for yourself.
If things get too tough out there, go ahead and fall back. I can take a beating if I need to.
I'm not here just to stand around and have everyone protect me.
I get that, but there's nothing wrong with admitting you have weaknesses too.
Do I look like I'm just trying to put on a brave face to you?
I can't feel pain. But you still can, can't you?
Look, I appreciate you're trying to look out for me, but even you go down in fights from time to time. Please, stop trying to babysit me. It's getting old.
It's not that. I just...
Are we in the right place? This place looks like a mess.
Yes, this is Niez, the capital of Mahag Saar.
I don't see any signs of people. And the buildings.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like the kind of place people would actually live.
No soldiers, no Danans, not a soul to be seen. Yet look at these facades. This is clearly a Renin district.
Hey, check out that drawing on the castle gate. That's the Darkwing's crest. It's from an old Danan legend about a hero who defeated an evil king with a torch and their trusty owl. That's his crest. I'm sure of it.
Really? First time I'm hearing it. So if someone drew it on the gate...
It must mean the Renins have lost control of the city.
Are you suggesting the Danans rose up and defeated the Lord here? Hard to believe, but not entirely unthinkable, given the evidence.
Let's look around and see if we can find someone. They might be able to tell us what happened. This is horrible.
Is there truly no one here?
Maybe something's going on in the forest.
All of these ruins look like they were made pretty recently.
But if that's the case, then where do you think the people that used to live here went off to? There must have been Danans and Renins, right?
That's a good question. Even if the Danans rebelled and managed to overthrow the Renins here, there should still be some people around.
This debris... Do you think it could be the work of Renin astral arts?
Perhaps, but the appearance of these ruins is rather uniform, which leads me to believe otherwise.
Hey, Rinwell. That story you told us about the Dark Wings. It said that the evil king was vanquished with a holy flame, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then there might be some truth to that old story after all. It looks like all the rubble here had been scarred by flames.
Let's not jump to any conclusions just yet. If we can find someone around here, we might be able to get them to tell us what happened. Dohalim, you forgot to take care of the fire yesterday.
What do you mean, take care of? Ah, yes. You meant to put it out?
Yep. If it stays lit, we could end up in real trouble real fast.
I see. I apologize for not realizing that. I shall be more careful in the future.
The way he's talking, it's like the thought of putting it out himself never even occurred to him.
Moving on, Dohalim, I should mention that the clasp for your cape is about to come undone.
Oh yes, I tried to fix that myself, but it simply refused to cooperate with me.
I can't believe I'm hearing this. Are you telling me Renins can't even dress themselves?
Lords like Dohalim have attendants that take care of just about everything they need, so I'm not surprised he sometimes struggles with the basics.
Even by those standards, you've got to admit this is still a little extreme.
Shionna's got a point. I mean, you don't see Renins like her needing so much help to get stuff done.
In my case, circumstances forced me to learn how to be independent. Even so, I still think Dohalim could afford to pick up a few more self-sufficient skills.
Well, specifically speaking, what would you suggest that I learn?
For starters, I think it'd be good for you to learn how to dress. And put on shoes. How to comb your hair is equally important, and learning to manage your possessions better. And then from there,
She sounds like his mom rattling all that off.
Oh, and another thing. About your owl, Rinwell.
What is it?
When he starts to molt, would you be willing to give me his old feathers? I think I could find a use for them.
What do you intend to do with those?
Well, recently, I haven't been sleeping well. However, I hear pillows made from owl feathers are very comfortable and wish to make one.
This is why I hate you, Renans!
Did I say something offensive?
Next time, put your own needs aside for a second and think about how someone might react first. Then consider if it's worth asking at all.
What are those out in the valley? Windmills? They're huge.
They're most likely used to harvest wind astral energy, so they have to be big.
All of you, stop right there! Don't move!
They have us surrounded.
Who are you? Where did you come from?
You first! Show yourself!
I'm the one asking the questions here. Don't try anything funny. One wrong move, and I guarantee we'll blow you away.
What are you...
My name is Alphen. I came here from Calaglia.
Alphen? The wielder of the blazing sword?
Getting pretty famous, isn't he?
Here is my proof. Will that suffice? Or do I have to burn down one of those houses to make my point?
No need. I believe you. I'm Beifong, of the Darkwings. Sorry for threatening to blow you away. We're still hunting down the remnants of the enemy forces, so everyone's more than a bit on edge right now. Please forgive me.
Remaining? Wait, you mean you already took down the Lord of this realm?
That's right. We took her weapons and turned them right back on her.
Are you the Danon leader here in Niez?
Nah, I'm just one of the commanders. Deadeye's the one who runs the show. I'd be happy to take you to him. Just one problem. The Renans. Seems the rumors you were running with them were true. You do understand, right? I mean, we only just liberated the city from their kind. Everyone's short on trust. And for good reason. Especially Deadeye. I think it'd be best if those two waited outside.
Not going to happen.
I don't think it's a good idea for us to split up. It's too dangerous.
Then it's on your head, friend. Our base is that way.
You could have left me behind, you know.
This isn't just about you, Dohalim.
Ah, yes.
I guess even after you beat the Renans, your work's only really just begun, huh?
Yeah. This place seems like it's got a lot of issues to fix.
We've reached our destination.
I'm impressed how well balanced this thing is.
There are still so many creatures we don't know about.
Have you been writing stuff down about what we fight?
Yep. It's actually pretty fun to observe them from afar.
Dohalim, your spare bracers were getting dirty, so I polished them up along with the rest of your equipment.
Why, thank you, Kisara. I greatly appreciate that.
Maybe it's just my imagination, but you sure seem to fuss over Dohalim a whole lot, Kisara.
It is a little strange. Almost like you're still in his service.
Really? That's certainly not my intention. Besides, he's not the only one I'm like that with. Hey, Law, I saw your clothes were starting to get holes in them, so I stitched them back up for you.
Oh, wow! Thanks, Kisara.
Point taken. Do you just like looking after people?
I wouldn't go so far as to say I like it, but I get anxious if I don't. I'd always like to help if I can. It comes naturally to me. Back in the day, Miguel and I used to look after the younger kids a lot, so that's probably where it comes from. He taught me everything I know, and I mean everything. How to cook with wild plants, how to sew clothes so they'll last. Without him, we never would have been able to survive.
However, you're not a lord anymore, Dohalim. You need to get used to the idea that people aren't just going to wait on you hand and foot.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I'm ashamed to admit that I felt no qualms about her doing all that for me. As both a Renan and especially as a lord, one becomes too accustomed to those beneath you tending to your every need, both Renans and Danans alike.
Sure, that's how all you Renans are probably raised. But just to be clear, we're not your servants, Dohalim. Got that?
Absolutely. Moments such as this provide me with ample opportunity to confront my unease. It is difficult to tend with my own motivations.
What do you mean?
The truth of the matter is that my espousal of coexistence in Menancia hardly came from an idealistic place. That instinctive unease I feel deep within serves as a reminder for what it is that all of us here fight for.
Don't be so hard on yourself. No one's going to abandon you if you aren't always perfect.
Looking at her now, I think she's more like his mom than his servant.
Hey, Rinwell. What was that whole legend you were talking about earlier, back when we were by the gate?
Huh? Oh, you mean about the Darkwings? It's an old story about a Danon hero that's been passed down for generations.
Like I said, I sure haven't heard it before.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, long ago, there was an evil king who tried to bring all of Dana to ruin. However, a pure black owl heard the pleas of the people and decided to help. It chose a young hero and bestowed upon them a holy flame that was capable of vanquishing the king. The story goes that the young hero challenged the king and defeated them with the flame. Seeing Dana had been saved, the people flew the crest of the Darkwings as thanks to the owl for its help. From what I understand, it used to be a really well-known story before the Renans came.
I guess our people must have forgotten it over time. It's lucky for us you still know it. You sure are well-versed in these sorts of things, Rinwell.
You know, the part where the hero defeats the king with a flame reminds me a little of Alphen.
Come on, it's just a story. Besides, if we're talking about an owl helping anyone, Hootle would definitely choose Rinwell.
Sure, I might have helped take out our own kind of evil king with the others, but I'm definitely no hero. That and Hootle's wings aren't even black.
Looks perfect and tastes just as good.
Isara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind, either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?